Hey guys, welcome back to Whitty's Gear Review. As you can see on the table, we have some T-shank blades sitting out here. And there's a reason for that. We did a video not too long ago featuring this Byberry multi-tool, and then we also compared it to the rock tool, which is basically the same tool, right? One unique thing about these tools is, get it out of the pack, flip it over here to the file, and on these it comes with your standard crosscut file and diamond carbide file, but these are T-shank and removable. And I was wondering if any T-shank would fit. So I was at Harbor Freight. They were having a little deal, and I picked up one of these for like $12.99. I think they were regularly $14.99, which still isn't bad. Which has 30 pieces of the T-shank jigsaw blades. Now, what I wanted was both of these tools come with just two standard, what they're calling a speed wood bit, or a wood blade, which is just a standard size. What I wanted was, if I wanted to cut thicker wood, longer wood, I would have that option. But in an urban carry, just to have in your truck is, I'm not saying this is the best saw out there, right guys? I'm not going to say this is a saw that beats all saws. But if you don't have a saw and you have a multi-tool and an assortment of these bits, you might be able to get yourself out of a bind. So what we're looking at here is, we'll start at the top. You got three, what they're calling wood clean cut blades. Then you have three clean reverse. You have three rough fast. Three fast. Three clean fast. A clean scroll, an all-purpose. A hardwood clean, an all-purpose. A plexiglass blade. Metal thin, metal medium, metal thick, metal scroll, metal aluminum, and carbide grit. And you can see that's, camera's not going to pick it up, but it's just got that carbide grit on there, which would probably cut through tile and stuff like that. But if you were building a bag, say a go bag, get home bag, urban bag, truck bag, truck EDC bag, toolbox, something to keep in your tool bag, this might get you out of a bind if you end up going somewhere and you didn't bring, I guess, the proper saw. If you had an assortment of these blades, then it'll kind of get you out of a bind if you needed to cut a piece of PVC pipe, and at the time this is what you had on you. You didn't want to go back to the truck, grab another saw. You were just making one cut. You just grab your little plexiglass blade there and go to town. But if you were wanting to cut through some thicker wood, now you're looking at a blade length that's a lot longer and would definitely help you, cut through some bigger stuff if you needed to. And you're looking, the length on this blade is 5 inches. So you could process a lot thicker wood if you were building an improvised shelter or anything like that. That gives you an option, right? I mean, that thing, you could tell, that thing's giant on there, but it would work. And like I said, guys, this isn't going to be better than, a Baco Laplander or a Silky or a Corona or anything like that. But if it's all you had and you had some of these bits thrown in a bag, and it comes with this little bag, which is nice and flat, all these blades store in here, zip it up, and you could easily carry that in a everyday carry, small pack, backpack, camping bag, throw it in your camping gear, hiking backpack, and it gives you a variety of stuff. There's several of each blade. Well, not of each, but there's several of a lot. Like, probably wouldn't need all three of these. You know, you could probably narrow this down with, we're not going to be fine cutting anything. So you could probably take the scroll out of there. I think the general purpose and the big one are good. Clean. And do you really care what it looks like when you're done? You might could take those out and put some of the more aggressive blades in there. But it gives you options, right? You know your environment better than I do, and I know mine. So you would kind of pick the blades that would fit what you think you would be going to, or going through, or would need. I would definitely put this one in there, the plexiglass, or, you know, for cutting PVC or anything like that. I'd definitely throw in, you know, one or two of these different metal blades. Now, you're not going to need the metal scroll, because maybe if you're fabbing something, if you need a part and you want to, you know, cut out a circle or something, this might help. But in a survival situation, I think it's useful if you're making like parts for snares or something like that. But man, you could probably do without it. But it lets you fine tune what you have. I doubt you're going to be gutting any tile or anything like that. So, you know, that may not be necessary. And you could almost start whittling this thing down. Like, yeah, thin metal. Would the medium metal still cut thin metal? Probably so. I'm not going to need all of those. So we'll have a thin, a thick, metal aluminum. It doesn't look a lot different than the metal thick, other than it's a little longer. And it may not be as, maybe the hardness isn't the same. Probably won't be cutting a lot of aluminum, so we'll take those out. We get to the clean fast. Yeah, let's toss one of them in there. It already comes with two of these, so we're going to take those out. We'll toss one of these in there. And clean reverse. All right. Now you can narrow it down to eight blades. Then you add your tool, and now you can cut metal, you can cut plastics, you can cut bigger pieces of wood. You have your general purpose blade in there, and then you have several different blades for cutting wood, one being a hardwood blade. Now you take all this, toss it in your little bag. I would suggest, you know, you can fold it down, and I'm not going to put a blade back on there right now, but toss that guy back in, and there's your wood processing, or metal, or whatever. If you want to cut a piece of brass, if you're trying to cut through a, you know, anything, a chain link fence, it would probably be better to use the wire cutters, but you know what I'm saying. You have metal blades in there. So all that, you can even, if you wanted to, you could put a Ranger band around this and throw that in your bag. And then you've got everything you need. Any kind of different saw blades. And like I said, you may want some of the scroll blades or some of these other blades that I took out. I was just thinking about what I would use, which may not be what you would use. And that's what leads to discussion, right? That's what leads to comments. What would you use? What would you keep? Good idea, bad idea. Does it elevate your multi-tool? Does it put this multi-tool in a different category seeing that now not only can you keep that on your tool, right? You got your crosscut file, your diamond file. Now you could cut through metal, bigger pieces of wood, hardwood, have, a variety of different wood cutting blades, different variety of metal cutting blades, a general purpose blade, and then something that'll cut through PVC or plastic. I think that changes this tool into something that's a little bit more useful if you're carrying it in a go bag or something like that. Now, in my opinion, you just took a multi-tool and almost made it a universal cutting tool, which, man, in go bag or get home bag or any type of bag like that, a tool kit, throwing it in the toolbox of your truck or in the glove box, there's a million times where we use the wrong tool to cut because it's all we have. This little kit could get you closer to what you would actually need. And not a lot of money. You're looking at $12, $13, maybe up to $15, depending on regular price. I think this Bauer said is, or Boyer, however you say it, it's like $14.99. I got it for $12.99, and I thought, man, that's a lot of blades. Why not? And I got it from Harbor Freight. And they may not be the best quality blade, guys. I get that. I'm not saying, hey, go to your Harbor Freight. This is the top-notch steel. And no, this is, if I've got this and I've got a wood blade and I need a metal blade, now I've got one. If I want to cut PVC, yes, can you cut PVC with any of these? Probably so. But if you want something that's going to make a little bit cleaner cut through PVC, and you've got that option. It's a good tradesman set. And all in all, I mean, it's just, in my opinion, it's enhancing a tool that's already multifunctional. Now you make it something that has several different ways to cut. But that's all I had in this video, guys. I just thought, I'd mentioned, I wonder if standard T-shank bits fit when I did the interview on these. And they do. And they fit well. I'll just go over a fit real quick. Let's toss and you can see, fits in there. Close her up, and now you've got a general purpose blade to cut through whatever you decide you want to cut through. And a lot bigger blade, handle bigger, bigger jobs. What do y'all think? Leave me a message in the comments. Tell me what you would use it for. Tell me if you think that's a good idea. Do you think it would optimize your wood cutting ability with a multi-tool? This thing already is a decent handle. Now you've got options on what you can cut with it. And kind of pick the right blade for the right job. And it doesn't take up, this doesn't weigh, hardly anything. And they lay flat. They're not very thick. Then you toss them in the bag that came with it. And you're ready, you're ready to go. Boom. Your whole wood processing kit right there on the table. Anyways, guys, do me a favor. Like, share, subscribe. Click all those notifications. Give us that thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Also, there's 3 ways to support the channel. Whitty's Gear Shop, memberships, buy me a coffee if you want to support the channel. Those are 3 ways you can do so. Love y'all. See you on the next one.